Welcome back, Adventure Fam and Scrap Club. Today I would like to show you my process of hand dyeing papers. I showed you one way and it has since expanded into more beautifulness. First, what you see here are papers that are damp, like this. You can see they're damp. Beautiful, right? And this one is wet and I haven't picked it up yet. When you leave it sit longer, you get darker areas like this. So I want this here to be real dark like this. So I'm gonna leave this one sit longer. Well, I did leave it sit longer. And since I'm going to show you now, I guess I'm not going to let it sit any longer. Please bear with me. I am not good at explaining what I do. This one's really beautiful. I love this paper. This one was coffee dyed and a lot of other things. So my plan today is to show you pretty much from the beginning, not the coffee dye process. You could find videos on coffee dyeing and then do that first, and then when you have it coffee dyed, bring it back to this process I'm going to show you now. So when all my papers are pretty much dried off and just a little damp, what I do is usually not in the pool. I'll do it on the side, but I don't want to move the camera around. I'll take dry paper, put the damp paper there, and stack it like this. Because when it's just damp, it will dry in the stack like this. Don't just set it aside and forget about it. But I'm always going in a circle. So I'll get back to these later and I'll take them out and finish drying them. But what I noticed by doing this, for one, you can do more at one time instead of waiting all night for them to dry. And two, I noticed when you stack them together and they sit on top of each other, they will merge. The colors will run more together while they're sitting in a group, probably from the pressure of it being damp on top of each other. I'm not really sure the science of it, but like this, it'll kind of spread out a little more to look more like this by doing the paper trick. It'll do it more. When you do this. I just hit myself in the eye with that paper. And this one here I have is totally dry and done. I really love this one. So I put my coffee filter on there. And I kept doing it. So I put this paper down, and for like 4 or 5 days in a row, when I got my coffee filter, I'll show you. This is my coffee filter. So what I do is I boil water and then I put my coffee in it like cowboy coffee. That's how I've been making my coffee. And then I pour it through this into my cup. And then when I get my cup full, I'll pull it out and I'll put it down on the paper. And I just keep redoing that over and over for a few days. And that's how I get a lot of my coffee dye nowadays. I have in the recent past, because I just started doing all this stuff, poured coffee right into the pool and then soaked all my papers and one by one hung them over the thing. That, if you want really dark coffee dye, you have to leave them set a really long time, and depending on what kind of paper you got, it'll disintegrate if you leave it overnight like that. So I just started doing it little by little and doing what I want to do with it, so that when I get to the dyeing part, we can make it beautiful. And then after they're totally dry like this, I'll one by one iron them. So today, what I want to show you, on top of showing you all these beautiful papers that I've already done, I mean, I got so many. I love doing this. I've been doing it. I keep doing it over and over. So if anybody wants some hand-dyed papers for free, let me know. I have a scrap club. You don't have to be a part of the scrap club. If you're subscribed to me and you would like me to send you some paper, just send me an email and say, I would like some paper. And you can even tell me what colors you would like, and I can make them special for you. I super love doing it, and I'm going to continue doing it. So yeah. Today I signed up for Trashy Treasures membership. I seen that she had a hand-dyed paper video in the memberships, and then when I looked, she's got 1 month free and then $3.99 a month after that. So I always liked her channel, and I still like her channel. So I signed up to be a member. I got it for free, and I watched the video. And I watched a couple other ones and enjoyed myself today on that. And I thought I would shout her out and let you know that you can get a free membership right now and check out that video. The way she hand dyes paper is totally different the way I do it. And it's something I'm going to do in the future. But I'm not going to do it on camera because... Okay, so see how this is wet? Real quick, what I do is I take a dry paper, put it on top of the dry paper, and then hang it over the edge. That's how we do that until it's drier. And I'm like constantly picking them up and moving them around. Like, this will sit here for a little bit, and when it's more dry, I'll take it off of this paper and use this paper. You see how it kind of dyed it because it's wet? That's part of the process that I'll be showing you in just a minute. But I wanted to talk about Trashy Treasurer's channel because I've been watching her for a while and I really enjoy her. And I'm really super into the hand dyeing paper. I'm going to do her way next month. I'll show you my finished project, but I won't show you how she does it because it's on her members only video, and I think you should go join and see that video for yourself if you'd like to see that. We'll talk more about that next month. I just thought I'd mention that because I just got done watching her video, and that's kind of what inspired me to go ahead and show you my process now. She might see my comment and come here and want to see it. I don't know. But if you do, you can email me and say, hey, if you don't want to leave a comment. That would be great. It would make me feel good. Okay, so from the beginning, this is how I do my papers. First, I take a bunch of papers that are clean and new, and I stack them up like this, so that you get different designs and patterns. The less you do all at once, the better, because what I've been noticing, I keep trying to pick this one up instead of this one because they kind of blend together, and then I'll rip one. So out of a batch, at least one or two will get ripped, and those are mine for my projects. The rest will be for other people. Today I've been working on the blue and green colors. I do add red, but anyway. So brand new paper. Just pick a spot that you want the color to be in. The more you do it, the darker it'll be. Right. And there. Now, if you let it sit, the longer you let it sit, the darker your color will be. I'm only using food coloring. You can get these, I've been buying them on Amazon for $3.62, I think it is. And I just ordered more, and I found there was like 3 different kinds about the same price, so I bought all 3 of the different kinds so that I can see what the differences are. Now you can take this and do that. It's sometimes you just play and you find out what's the greatest, you know. But you see how dark that is? That'll leave a nice dark spot there too. Now, what I did with that one is first, this color right here is like these splashes. Do you see this splash here? That's because I start with this process. And like right now, I don't want to wait for it to be real dark because this is the first lay down of it. So what I do is boom, put it right up there. I go around the whole thing doing that. And you can come up with your own process. I just realized, I seen this pool at Walmart. It's like $6 for this mini pool. And I thought, that would be great for my papers. And I was right. So just go around and layer your papers up on the edge. And then I'll come back and show you the next step. Because what I usually do is just keep going, and I'll layer them and I'll stack them, and that's a really long process. So this is the first step. Like I said, layer them on top of your dry paper. When you layer them on top of the dry paper, you're actually starting the next page, and all of that you see here, all those colors you see in there were not made all at one time. They were made step by step like this. So when you do more than what you have room for, you can take more dry paper and put it on top of the papers you just did. So I got the dry paper there and I put the wet one on there. Now I can put some more paper on there and put another wet one on there. Right? And just go around like that. And then you move them around like this, flipping them and flopping them, and just keep on moving them while you're doing the rest of your stuff. It'll dry, especially on a summer day. I got the air conditioning on, but they dry while I'm doing it. So I don't know how else to explain that. I guess you just have to do it and you'll figure out for yourself how to do it. It is not a process that takes all day for just a handful of papers. I personally just love doing it, so I keep doing it, and I keep doing it, and I keep doing it. I'll be back with the next step. Alright, the next step. Throw down more fresh papers. Throw down more fresh papers. You don't have to do whatever you want, but this is how I get my cool designs. So this is totally dry. I'm gonna lay that down. And this one's totally dry. I'm gonna lay that one down like that. And this one too, totally dry. Lay it down like that. No reason really, there's no rhyme or reason other than, you know, looking for the spots that you want to get done. Now, I ran out of spray bottles, but this seems to work really good for this green. My brain keeps stopping because the other day I just poured a bunch on in the pool and it turned out fabulous. So I got the idea that pouring it on is a neat little thing. So just go like this. Just get the spots that you want to get. You don't have to spray it all over. I mean, you can just dab it wherever you want it. So the deeper puddles you got, the deeper puddles you get, the more of this you get. See how it's running in there? That's the blue I did, but I first did green. So then you let it sit. I don't know how long. Sometimes, like right now, I want to just keep on going, and it'll be a lighter color if I keep on going. So the longer you let this sit, if you go take a lunch break and come back, that'll be more better. See, this is a coffee dyed paper, and you see the design it's making as it's drying. So if you want more heavy colors, let it sit longer. But if you're in a mood to just keep going, then just keep going. So that's what I do. See, there's doubled up on there for no reason at all. Now, I want to do some blue. There. Pretty. Okay, don't get it too piled up, because they'll really stick together and then you'll be mad at yourself. But, so, like right now, I'm just gonna do this for the video. Like I said, lay a regular paper down over wherever you hang them, so you can put the wet part right on top of it, because the dry paper will absorb some of the wetness. Plus, like I said, it starts the beautiful next step. like I said before, I'm more watch and see rather than explain. So when you put them on there like that, the bottom page starts getting going, and it absorbs from each other. It helps you dry it faster. But do you see how this page is just done like that? It's got some green, it's got some blue. It really creates a nice layering effect when you do it like this, I've noticed. So this is the part, if you pick this up and this is wet, this will rip. You gotta be careful and get the top page. But isn't that beautiful? Just like that. So this is where I'm gonna start layering on top of my other ones, because I'm running out of space. Let's see if I can show you. Put that on there. Pick this up. Look how beautiful that is. Put that over there. Keep it going. The longer it sits, the more rippable they are. Isn't that gorgeous? On the top part. So when you're putting them on top of your papers, put the top part, the wet part on there. See, more rippable now. So there you go. We got our papers started, and that's how we'll do it. And I'll let these dry a while, and when I feel like they're dry enough, I'll throw some more white papers down, and then throw more of these down, and decide the colors, and decide where I want sprays to go. As you can see, they really spread out nice. This is Amazon copy paper. I'll put it in the description. It's pretty cheap, and I like it because it runs. And that's actually a good review for anybody that wants to use copy paper that doesn't run. This runs. So if I wanted to use a printer and copy some stuff, this paper probably runs because it does all this cool stuff. Okay, now what I like to do is take a bunch of papers that I've already dried on the edges. These here are the ones, like I put the wet ones on top of the dry ones. Not the ones you've seen, because they're not done yet. They're still hanging up. But these papers are already done from being underneath those papers. So then, I like to take these papers and put them in little puddles and just soak up whatever's on the ground here. Like that. I like random. The more random, the better. For me. I don't know about other people. I mean, you can get specific, you know. You can put different things under it to make different shapes and whatnot. I'm actually thinking about doing that. I haven't done it yet, but it's on my mind because what I noticed is the stuff here that's puffed up. I'll show you quick because, like I said, I don't explain very well. So if you have something raised up under there, see, it'll come through. This is just a dried piece of paper that I crumpled up. I picked up one of these papers and it ripped off, and it was really wet. So what I was actually doing with these on some of them is just blotting it to get different shapes. I just keep doing different things with my papers. That's how I get all the different designs. It's from spraying and from playing and having a great time. So you can just get different shapes and whatever and keep on going, you know. Get a little piece of paper wet and throw them right on there. So if you cut out with a punch or whatever, butterflies, different shapes, that would be cool too. And then let that dry before you do more. Because if you keep piling all the colors on top of it before it's dry, it'll just disappear. So that's why it's a process of doing stuff, drying them, and then coming back to it. And that's what I did with these papers here. These, doing stuff, drying, and then coming back to them, right? And this one, I love doing these. This one's from putting the other wet papers on top of it. Remember I showed you piling on top of each other? I did a bunch of red and yellows and greens before, and so now I want a bunch of blue. This here, this gray I got from mixing all of them together. I took one bottle and I mixed blue, green, and red. Mostly green. So like the blue, green, and red together, I created this. And then I just poured it on there. Maybe I'll show you that quick. These papers are going to be amazing because I didn't even think about it at all. I'm just trying to show you. But do you see? Look at close up. I love how this looks. And that's from piling it on top of each other like this. Okay, and so what I did with the blue, green, and red concoction is what I'm going to do here with just green. I literally just soaked them. And like I said, this gets a little iffy because your papers will be harder to pick up without breaking. And you better want to play with green or whatever color you're putting down because you're going to have a lot left over. But yeah, it's all just playing, and I love playing. When you soak them like this, don't let them sit too long, and you'll be in trouble. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up all these papers that I have up here because they're just damp now. They're not soaking wet. I'm gonna pile them on top of each other. Trying to show you, but it's harder to do. There we go. Put them on top of each other. Big pile. There. See, I got this big pile, and it's all damp. Don't leave them like this forever. They won't work out very well. But I just put them off to the side as a damp pile until I get ready for them again. Which will be today, but right now, because I'm showing you, I don't want them to sit very long, like that. It's really hard to show people, so just throw your papers over the edge. These are a little bit damp from what I did before. They're really wet, so that's why I'm double, tripling, quadrupling. I'm not really paying attention. I'm just grabbing a bunch, put them over the edge. And I'll show you how to get them up. If you had a tweezers and got more picky with it, it'd probably be better. But see, when you get them real wet, they get harder to get apart. And then you gotta go slow. Yeah, you can't see what I'm doing over here. I'll go on the other side. See how they're stuck together? I hope you can see this, but I almost ripped it. Or I did rip it. Do you see how I'm ripping it? Boom. And that's what happens when you get them wet like this. But that's okay, I'll use this, see? Just put it up here. Just smack it on there and it'll create a good design. Put it on a dry piece of paper on top of that one. And start again. Boom. Now, since these are super wet, you're gonna have to leave them sit for a while until they're damp, like the other ones. So, when these get dried off enough to get damp, where I could pile them on top of each other, Then I'll get that other pile that I piled up and I'll spread them out only singly and not in a pile at all to dry the rest of the way. And that really doesn't take that long. But do you see the beauty of this? Do you see like this part? Man, this is magic when you do stuff with this. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, ripped it. I don't know if you've seen that, but here's another rip. That's okay. I'll use all the ripped ones because you can cut them up and do different things. As all of us know, there's another rip. Usually I'm sitting down going in a circle and not trying to show people stuff, so it's easier to do. I'm gonna leave these just a little while because I want to see if I leave them how dark they get and how that works out. I think it might not work out that good because they're so wet that they might actually just stick together, but let's see. I'll bring it back and show you. Alright, it's been about a half an hour. And you seen how wet they were when I put them up here. And I think you can see they're not that wet anymore. They're damp. So it took me about a half an hour. And check this out. The paper underneath it. Pretty, right? I mean, you can leave it just like that if you wanted, which I won't. But same process as before, stack them up on top of each other so you can get more room. Look at how these are coming out. Beautiful, right? Stacking them up. Look at that. So beautiful. Okay, now I'm gonna put these on my wet pile over here. Now we're gonna see how these work out because I'm gonna sit them for half an hour and see how they ran together and they got real more darker everywhere. And here's our paper. I don't know if you could see it. Then it blended in the little paper I left on there. I didn't do that on purpose. But because we poured that green on top of it, it blended in. Now we'll see. But usually when I leave them sit longer, they're not on top of each other. That's why I said let's see. I usually just don't do that. But it's coming out pretty good, right? I try not to rip it, but I did. I ripped it. It is ripped. Beautiful though, right? Sometimes it really bothers me when I rip it because it, like this one, it's just so perfect, but then it has this rip on it. Like, darn it. But I say those ones just want to be mine, that's all. Yeah, the longer you let it sit, the more rippable they are. And like this one, so I usually try to get them as flat as possible. But if they wrinkle up, the wrinkles are cool too. They'll make more of a design with a wrinkle. This one I want you to see because it's on top of each other and it's been sitting, like I said, half an hour. So if you get tweezers or something, like I got here, I just poked a tiny hole in there. I'm not good with delicate things. There's another hole in it. That's why I don't like putting them and let them sit so long. But you see the bottom, that green that's dripping? That will it'll create a darker line on the bottom, and I really like that. Oh, see, that one's on top of this one, and I almost picked this one up first. Gotta be real careful of that. I mean, I guess you don't have to be careful of it, but if you don't want rips, I suggest you be real careful with it. Now this one, I super like this corner, and I think the whole thing's gonna turn out like that when I'm done. So I'd really not like to rip that one. So I'm gonna take the bottom one, kind of lift it up a little. There we go. Beautiful. This one being neglected over here. I took a bunch of these notebook papers just because I thought they would look cool, and they do. But they're more delicate than the other papers, so you gotta be extra careful. For the sake of showing you, I'm gonna put those down there. Here's this first stack that we did together. Here's the first stack we did together, and here's the second stack. This is the one I took off of the edge when we first started. You see how they're dry, or drying. They're not wet anymore. These are dry. These are done. I might have got that mixed up. Those might have been something I did before. I'm not sure. But these here we did together for sure. They're still damp. I'm gonna take one by one now and put them around the edge. And see, this created from having them stacked on top of it, right? Because I think you get what I'm saying. The papers we dyed, we put them on top of a dry piece of paper, and that creates a design on the dry piece of paper, see? So this piece of paper I'll hang up by itself like this, and these, they're just damp from soaking up from the other ones, so I'll put those on top of the wet ones we just put there. And I'd go around doing that. Oh yeah, this is the paper we put on there. See the nice design it created? And I'll just throw that one up here. So on, etc. Put the damp ones right on top of the other ones. The ones that were wet are more damp than the dry ones that we put on there. So the ones that are more wet, we're putting up singly by itself. And that'll dry in no time. And the ones that are less damp, we're gonna stack them on top of each other over here. Not too high because we want them to dry. But for the sake of room and just keeping on going, that's how I do it. Aren't they beautiful though? And you're done when you're done. When you feel that it's super done and beautiful, and then that's when you stop creating and you say they're done. Now this one, I like the little dry spots, so I'm calling this one done. That one's done. I'm going to put it in my done pile. And it'll dry off separately over there. This is just damp. Beautiful, right? I might call this one done too. I think I will. If you look close, you can see the other colors shimmering through there. Yep. Oh yeah, this is the one I put a paper on top of. The ripped one. But look at that. Look at the design it made. It's pretty neat. And these will start again like we started in the first place. Laying them down, continuing on. Beautiful, right? These are the damp ones. that I took off to show you before. What I was telling you about them running more from being damp and stacked together. Check it out. Aren't they beautiful? So this is what I do. I kind of just flip them over and then hang them up on the edge when I get room. Isn't that beautiful? Do you see how it kind of runs together? That's from stacking them. So if you don't stack them, they'll dry nice and they'll run. But if you stack them, they'll run together more. That's what I've noticed. It was on accident to do that, and well, you can see the beauty of it. This little spot is because when it was over here, it dipped into there. And that's where we got that from. But isn't that beautiful, the whole paper? I love it. Oh yeah, this is the one I showed you that I really liked before. You see how it got more runny, like, I don't know how to explain it, but you've seen the process, you've seen the results. And you can get your ideas and play and create your own beautiful papers. And they're super cheap too. Like I said, I'm using Amazon paper, which I think is the best because it runs more than the Walmart paper. And they're a little thicker. So the thicker the paper, the more different colors and stuff too. I was actually thinking about doing that. Getting some of my more expensive papers and hand dyeing them, which I will do eventually after I get more creative processes learned, and then I'll do that. As you can see over here, drying, I took some book pages and colored them. I think they're pretty cool. Thank you for joining me on today's paper dyeing adventure. And until next time, be you, do you, and have fun doing whatever it is you do. I love you, and I'll see you next time. This one here is the one that we left sit for half an hour, and then when I picked it up, I ripped it a little bit. Yeah, it's usually the most beautiful ones that I rip. Isn't it gorgeous? It just has so many different designs and stuff in there. Heck yeah. So I hope you have gotten inspired by this video to make your own paper. Heck yeah. Remember, have fun.